Well, looks like Miami has entered the find out phase. So it's being reported, and I read an article in the Tallahassee Democrat, that Miami-Dade County is going to be ground zero for the Orange Man's deportation program. Now, if you didn't know, Miami-Dade County has a 70% Hispanic population. This fact helped the Orange Man win the county by 11 percentage points. It's like the first time a Republican has won Miami-Dade County since 1988. Now, it makes sense for this program to start in Miami-Dade County because, honestly, Miami-Dade probably has the most deportation cases that are open in the whole country. And truth be told, Miami has a large concentration of immigrants. That's just a fact. Immigrants that are documented and undocumented. And chances are, if you live in Miami, you probably know someone who's undocumented. It's just unavoidable. But just to be clear, this whole program is not just going to target people that are undocumented. It also is going to target people that are on DACA. It's going to target people with temporary protected status. It's going to target people seeking asylum. And keep in mind, those people aren't illegal, but for the simple fact that those programs that they're trying to use will be taken away or expired. And with those programs being taken away or expired, now you are technically undocumented. Now, it's estimated that there are approximately 1.1 million people who are living in the state of Florida undocumented. That's about 5% of the population of the entire state. And so you already have economists talking about how this is going to negatively impact the economy of the state of Florida. And if you remember, a year or two ago, the governor here implemented something on a smaller scale with a law that he implemented that caused a lot of the immigrant community to leave the state, which caused a shortage of labor, and we have more jobs available than actual people to work those jobs here. And when this program is implemented, that's only going to exacerbate the situation. And it also mentions how in this article that there were certain exceptions as far as like when you could like do quote unquote raids, as far as like schools were protected, hospitals, places of worship, etc. When this program is implemented, all those exceptions for safe spaces are going to be eliminated. So meaning your child could be, in the middle of a math lesson, and all of a sudden you got ICE at the elementary school doors coming to take them away. So, and don't think this is just going to affect a certain group of immigrants. It's going to affect everyone, whether you are Haitian, whether you're Venezuelan, whether you're Nicaraguan, whether you're Cuban, it doesn't matter. Like, if you're here undocumented or you're here trying to go through the proper channels and you haven't been able to achieve a certain status yet, it's going to affect you. And it's going to have a greater impact on the economy because, again, you're eliminating a large percentage of the workforce. And like I said, we're at a point now where we have more jobs than people to work them. And if you think that a certain group of people are going to get out here and work these jobs that these immigrants are working, I got a bridge in Brooklyn I want to sell you. Like I say, man, it is what it is. It's what it's what people voted for. It's what people decided that they wanted. So see how it all plays out.
Well, y'all, I never thought I'd say it, but I'm going to say it. I regret voting for Donald J. Trump. I regret it. I regret it. I can't believe it. He is getting rid of the USAID. These people were literally making it so that people in Arab countries that throw gay and transgender people off of buildings, he was, he got rid of the program that was teaching them to have tolerance for those people. The USAID was spending millions upon millions upon millions upon millions of dollars to try to integrate transgenderism and all that into their daily life. We were spending millions upon millions upon millions of dollars to teach diversity to Middle Eastern countries, y'all. I mean, are you like for real? And now y'all are just going to get rid of it? Y'all are just going to get rid of it like that? You don't care if people that are gay and transgender are getting thrown off buildings in those countries. Y'all just don't care. And now I can't believe it, but I regret voting for Donald Trump. I can't believe I voted for a man that does not want to fund gay and transgender rights in other countries. I don't get it. I don't get it. They're just going to continue to throw gay people, transgender people, queer people. They're just going to continue to throw them off of buildings. And nobody cares. Nobody cares. We need to spend millions upon millions upon millions of dollars to try and get them to change. Will they change? Probably not. But the millions and millions of dollars that we're throwing at them, it could make a difference. You don't know. You don't know. It could make a difference. It could make a difference. But now we're never going to know. We're never going to know because Trump and his minions and that Elon Musk, who nobody voted for, by the way, okay, is just taking the USAID and throwing that money, I don't know, into something that, I don't know, makes sense. Like what? They're going to use that money to like help homeless veterans or something? Like, we don't need that over here. We need to fund diversity in other countries in the Middle East. We need to fund that. Why are we worrying about our veterans here? Why are we worried about drug addiction here? Why are we worried about anything here in the United States when we can be giving all those millions of dollars to the people in the Middle East to stop them from throwing gay and transgender people off of buildings? I never thought I would say this. I never thought this day would come. I really didn't. I mean, I thought I knew what I was voting for, you know? I thought I knew. But Donald Trump, man, he's just out of control. He's out of control. He's trying to save money for the American people by taking money away from organizations that are just giving our money to, they're just trying to diversify. They're just trying to diversify. They're just trying to make it so that gay and transgender people don't get killed in their native countries. I mean, come on. Come on. If we don't do it, who's going to do it? I can't believe I'm saying this. Donald Trump, how dare you? How dare you stop spending those millions? How dare you stop spending those millions of dollars to try and help those people not get thrown off of buildings when you could be helping? I mean, are you kidding me? And now you're trying to use that money here to help people here? I don't get it. I just don't get it. God, you're such an evil, evil man, Donald Trump. And Elon Musk, don't even get me started, okay? Don't even get me started. All I could say to you is, my heart goes out to you. My heart goes out to you.
Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, Africans. I hope you are doing fine where you are, and if you ain't doing fine, please do fine where you are. So, in 2016 and 2020, Donald Trump campaigned on promises to revive American manufacturing, bring back coal jobs, and crack down on immigration. He also implemented policies that would put America first, but this promise did not hold as he had promised earlier. You know, many people were incentivized, many people were hyped by the idea that America will be great again, because they thought that some problems are not really American, but they are brought there by people who they call them immigrants and illegal immigrants, you know. So Trump made a lot of promises. Maybe he knew what to say, and he knew that a group of people wanted to hear some of these words that he was campaigning on, you know. So we have the movement MAGA. MAGA means Make America Great Again, which was brought about by Donald Trump. But you know that MAGA is not really what it is. MAGA is not what it is, because we have now the FAFO, which means F around and F out. You know, I won't name it. It's just such a dirty word to call on a video, you know. So the promises Trump made did not hold any waters, and they backfired on the entire American society. You know, the rise of the American Make America Great Again MAGA movement and its intersection with FAFO, you know, F around, F out, you know, this mentality in the USA has sparkled significant political, economic, and social consequences. Many Americans are suffering because they voted Trump in. They voted Trump in because he made a promise to them. Some people are saying that Trump lied to them, but I personally don't think that Trump lied to these people, because I always say one thing that was also said by someone else. If someone shows you who they are for the first time, please do me a favor, or do yourself a favor and believe them. This is the second time that Trump is in power, and in the first time we saw who he was. For the second time, we had a better knowledge, but people of America still voted him in because they wanted to make America great again. But sit back and think for yourself: is America great again, or was this just a fallacy or a bluffing that he was making? I want us to find out if make America great again is a thing or not. Let's find out in this video. I shall get back, and I shall also share with you my thoughts, where we shall also have a deep critical analysis. Let's dive in.
President Trump did not betray you. You betrayed yourself. You lied to yourself to justify your decision to vote for a madman. And you didn't care about the things he said he would do, because you figured that would only hurt other people. But now that it's hurting you, you see the problem with it. But you was perfectly fine with him hurting other people. Anyway, it makes sense that they would want to erase Black and Native American history, because we're a constant stain on them, aren't we? A constant reminder that nothing they got here was earned. Everything they got was off the backs of others. Not only did they occupy the land that belonged to someone else, they didn't even do the work to build this bitch. And that's why they want to erase us. But you can never erase our history. Our history is global, baby. It goes beyond these states. And we will prevail as always. But those of you who voted for this shit and it backfired, I keep telling you, you reap what you sow. And what you wish for others is going to come right back on your ass.
I've been seeing a lot of people on here recently talking about their regrets around how they voted. So I'm going to ask my followers and those who see this video, do you regret how you voted if you are a citizen of the United States? Do you regret voting for Donald Trump? Do you regret where this country is headed? Leave a comment and I will respond back via video, and make it a great day or not. The choice is yours.
Do you want to know how bad healthcare is in America? Here's how bad it is.
Yeah.
I get stitches. Cut my finger the other day. Go into the hospital, get my stitches done. No big deal. Whatever. I have to wait 2 weeks to get them taken out. In the meantime, I get billed for my visit.
Of course.
Before insurance, for 5 stitches, $3,800.
What?
After insurance, $1,800.
Oh, come on.
Or $1,900, excuse me. After insurance, $1,900 for 5 stitches for a terrible hospital visit. Anyway, fast forward. So, I get my bill and it's time to take the stitches out. So I schedule an appointment at the urgent care that is associated with the hospital that I went to. Same company. So I schedule suture removal appointment online, and then I go in for the appointment, and they say, sorry, we're not going to take those out. You, since you got them done at the hospital, you have to get them removed at the hospital.
Oh, come on.
I said, why didn't you tell me that when I scheduled the appointment online? They said, sorry, go to the hospital. So I go to the hospital. And then I wait around for a while in the ER, and then I get back and I ask the nurse, hey, this is what happened. They turned me away at urgent care, told me to come here, that you guys would do it for free. Is that true? And the nurse said, let me check on that. I'm going to check with billing really fast. So
Yeah,
I go
we
check
don't
on billing.
know, but
And then they say, sorry, billing says that you'll have to pay to get these stitches removed. And I said, that really sucks because I paid $1,800 to have that done after insurance. And they said, that is absolutely ridiculous. I
Yeah.
said, I know.
it is.
And then I said, gonna be honest, I'm not gonna pay any more money to the hospital because I already paid too much anyway. So I'm just gonna go. And I said, I think I might just remove them myself. And they said, that makes sense because that was so much money. So we'll just take you off triage. It'll be like you never here. Don't worry about it. And then they were like, you know what? Let me just don't tell anybody we gave you this. And they gave me a little kit to remove my stitches myself. So that's a little story about healthcare in America. $1,800 will get you 5 stitches, and then nurses have to go behind the backs of the hospital to get you treated. So that's pretty stupid.
Some Republicans just found out today what Elon Musk had said before the election about us all facing temporary hardship. They then looked to the stock market to see what was going on there, and the experts are saying, and their only question is, what about my retirement? What about your retirement?
Check this out. The Greenville County Sheriff in South Carolina issued an FAFO order. And if you don't know what that means, check this out.
Anybody who's listening that may be thinking of looting something here, just know that the business owners are staying in their stores. They're very well armed. They're protecting their property. Us, as well as the coroner's office, will be glad to come deal with that, because you certainly won't need EMS, because people are protecting what is theirs right now. They're about 500 calls behind. So I don't advise anybody, obviously, doing that.
He said us as well as the coroner's office will come and handle that. And y'all, you got to read some of these comments with me. This one says, the sheriff is doing a hell of a lot more than FEMA is doing for the people most affected by Helene. No matter what the liars of FEMA and in the White House are saying. We don't play in South Carolina. Touchy-feely means something completely different down here. Love this, man. Oh my God, this is awesome. Look right here. That's my sheriff, and he ain't wrong. Oh man, y'all, let me know what you think about that one in the comments. Make sure you like the video. Follow for more. Hit that little plus over there. I'll see you.
Whatever was more important than my son, your granddaughters, whatever it was, I hope you get it. If it was cheaper gas prices, cheaper eggs, more guns, Greenland, now for some reason, I hope you get that. All of it. Or else it was all for nothing, right? And that's not true. It's not even true. I hope you suffer, honestly. I do. And before you tell me how cruel that is, hoping doesn't do anything. I hope for lots of things that don't happen. You know what gets things done is voting. And you fucking betrayed them. All of them. So many people. And whatever it is you betrayed them for, I don't know. I hope it's worth it. I hope it's good to you. And it probably will be. It probably will be. Because that's what you wanted. And you knew. But I'll never forgive you for it. Ever.
Well, we seem to be back to some more FAFO. Here is some breaking news, guys. I'm just going to go ahead and hit play so you can hear the deceptive editing and then give you the breaking news.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We're not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
But it's
okay, so that was the edit right before a presidential election. So the breaking news is the FCC is now considering revoking CBS broadcast license after deceptive editing. Kamala Harris's 60 Minutes interview per FCC chair Brendan Carr. They are also investigating NBC for their last-second stunt of putting Kamala Harris on Saturday Night Live. Media, you deceptively edited to interfere with an election for one candidate, and you did not do it on the other candidate. You released it unedited. That's election interference. Good luck keeping your license. More breaking news. FAFO.
This is my last political post, okay? I'm gonna lay it to rest. Let me just tell you guys, I'm not crying happy tears. I'm not gonna be apologetic for being excited, because if it was the other way around, all of the Kamala supporters would celebrate. I want to say that first. I'm very relieved because I voted what I believe in, and I felt heavy on my heart that it's the right thing. So knowing that it was the decision the American people made, I'm relieved and I'm very happy. Very, very happy, okay? It's the very first day of finding out the election results. All of us are happy. I'm very happy, but I'm not going to continue to post about it, but I'm also not going to be sorry about it. And I always talked about how my family, sorry, I don't want to make this more than once. I always talked about how my family had different beliefs, my grandma and my mom and my sister, and how we always got along. And I wore my grandma's sweater to go vote, and I'm so sorry. I'm trying not to cry, okay? But my heart's broken.
Try not to cry.
Yeah, try it. My grandma just sent me a very sad text. It broke my heart. And my mom has yet to text me back today. My point of making this video is to say that I am very happy, and I expressed how happy I was. And I'm not gonna be sorry for that. I'm completely heartbroken that my family is taking it how they are. I never did this to them when Biden won. Never. But I am done with political posts. From here on out, it's back to normal. If you don't like me because of who I voted for and you have to unfollow, go ahead. My own family unsubscribed from my life, so you can too. I promise. It doesn't get worse than that.
We voted for Trump because he promised while he was campaigning like a million times that when he got into office, he was going to bring down prices, bring down grocery prices. The inflation has been high ever since COVID, and he promised he would bring that down, but it's obvious to me now that that was not true. Egg prices have skyrocketed. The bird flu is killing all the birds, and he doesn't seem to be doing anything about that. He's stopping disease communications from the disease centers in America, pulled us out of the WHO. Like, how does that help anything? And yeah, all he's been doing is taking away rights and freedoms, or trying to. He's not doing anything about the economy. So yeah, we totally regret our vote at this point. We've had a really tough time here in North Carolina. Half of my house got washed away in Hurricane Helene, and I applied for FEMA assistance and we got approved. But now Trump is canceling FEMA and emergency assistance to people. He's also canceled
It's been, what? It's been like 2 weeks? 2 weeks. I'm done. You want to talk about regretting your vote? In 2 weeks, I went from the highest high to being unemployed. Lost my job last night, got a phone call. The repercussions of what Elon Musk are doing with the USAID has real repercussions for real people. For the last 7 years, I have been a shift lead on Project Bus, where we studied to find out if the wheels on the bus went round around or not. And all of a sudden, Elon, who's not even elected, gets in, and I'm out of a job. What do I tell my family? What do I tell my kids? This isn't a joke. This USAID stuff is not a joke, man. It's affecting real people. And the worst part is, what if we never figure out if in fact the wheels on the bus do go round and round? Does nobody care?
Shock and awe. Remember what they told us before he was inaugurated? That the things that he would do at the beginning of his term would bring shock and awe. Getting rid of the EOE Act, firing all of those inspectors general, the migrant roundups, saying the wildfires in California could be stopped by just turning on the water, and now freezing federal funding. But despite all of this chaos, that's what he wants. He wants chaos. On my page right now, go and watch the videos that I just reposted. These users are essentially saying that chaos is what he wants. He wants there to be all this chaos so that we take it to the streets. Maybe it, goes the wrong way and gets violent. This code is so terrible. But he wants that so that he can declare martial law. And everyone on that side, once again, will be able to just write it off, brush it off as like, oh, well, there were uproars and, looting, all this stuff. He had to. No, I know, actually, I don't know, but y'all got to be smarter than that. So please, for the sake of everyone, pay attention and realize what he is doing. The things he says, the things he does, take him seriously, because there will certainly be very serious repercussions.
But he kept two promises. One, he said, if you elect me, I will end a woman's right to choose in this country. And he did it. And the second thing is he promised all of his corporate buddies, elect me, and I'm going to cut your taxes. I'm going to cut taxes for the rich. And while we're at it, we're going to have a bunch of appointees who will quietly pursue anti-union policies throughout the federal administration. And those same appointees, once they were out of power, got to work on a little project. You know what that project's called? It's called Project 2025, and it is the playbook for a second Donald Trump administration.
After clearly watching this video, here is my critical analysis. The MAGA movement had made bold promises, but many of its policies hurt the very people who supported them, from job losses and economic struggles to weakened labor rights and community decline. The FAFO effect is now hitting hard on these individuals. Many former Trump supporters are now expressing their regrets, realizing that slogans and culture wars don't pay the bills. The next election will test whether voters have learned from these mistakes or if they will continue down the same path. FAFO is here to show the regrets that MAGA failed. MAGA was some kind of a discriminatory slogan. It was a discriminatory movement that was targeting a specific group of people, but it had backfired even on the people who were supporting it. Yeah. So some of the things that backfired were, we had job losses in key industries. We had labor shortages and business struggles. We had declining rural and industrial communities. We had a weakening of workers' rights and wages. We also had rising inflation and economic instability. We had political and social division, The MAGA promise was meant to restore national pride and unity. The reality was different. The movement of MAGA deepened political polarization, with Americans more divided than ever. Extremist groups gained prominence, leading to events like the January 6th Capitol riot. The MAGA brand became toxic for many, causing mainstream Republicans to distance themselves from it. The FAFO effect is here. Many Americans, even conservatives, now regret supporting a movement that has fueled chaos and alienated independent and moderate voters. You know, the eighth one was loss of global influence. You know, the promise was that America first. This was supposed to strengthen the US on the world stage, but that is not the reality. That was just the campaigning slogan. Here is the reality. Trump alienated allies, causing a decline in US global influence. International trade deals collapsed, making it harder for American businesses to compete globally. China and Russia took advantage of US isolation, strengthening their own global power. The FAFO effect. The US now struggle to rebuild alliances and regain credibility, while adversaries have become stronger. You know? We also have other reasons like weakening of workers' rights and wages. You know, the promise was that MAGA positioned itself as a champion for the working class, but that was not the reality. That was the campaign slogan. Here is the reality. Trump policies weakened labor unions, making it harder for workers to negotiate better wages and benefits. Many blue-collar jobs lost protections, leading to lower wages and fewer benefits. The biggest beneficiaries of Trump tax cuts were corporations of the wealthy, not the working class. The FAFO effect. Many workers in conservative states found themselves in a worse financial condition despite backing policies they believed that would help them, you know. Declining rural and industrial communities. The promise was this. MAGA was supposed to revitalize small towns and rural America, but that was not the reality. That was the campaign slogan. Here is the reality. Infrastructure and education were neglected, leaving rural areas behind. Young people left small towns in search of better opportunities in urban areas, you know, further weakening these communities. The last one we have, healthcare access was also declined, especially as hospitals in rural America struggled financially and shut down. The FAFO effect. Many MAGA supporters in rural areas now complain about the lack of jobs, healthcare, and economic opportunities, despite backing policies that worsened their situations. The third one, we had labor shortages and business struggles. The promise that Trump made was this. MAGA supporters pushed for strict immigration policies, believing they would create more jobs for American citizens. But that was just the campaign slogan. That was not the reality. And here is the reality. Crackdowns on immigrant labor led to severe shortages in farming, construction, and hospitality, industries that relied on immigrant workers, you know. Many businesses closed or reduced operation because they couldn't find enough workers. Another one is wages for some jobs went up, but many Americans were not willing to take the difficult, low-paying, labor-intensive work that immigrants had filled, you know. Job losses in key industries. MAGA claimed it will protect jobs and prevent outsourcing. It never happened. Many factories shut down due to rising production costs by tariffs. The coal industries, despite Trump's claims, it continued to decline due to automation and market shift towards renewable energy. Corporations still outsourced jobs to countries with cheaper labor, as Trump's tax cuts favored the wealthy rather than the working class Americans. The FAFO effect. Many Trump supporters in the Rust Belt and rural areas found themselves unemployed or earning less, despite voting for policies that were supposed to help them. It is like I'm reading a drama, a drama script, you know. But it's the reality. People are regretting their choices. Economic damage from trade wars. The promise Trump made was this. Trump pledged to revive American manufacturing by imposing tariffs on foreign goods, particularly from China. But that was not the reality. Here is the reality. The tariffs led to a trade war, where China retailed by cutting purchases of American agricultural and industrial products. Farmers suffered from major losses, forcing the government to issue billions in bailouts, but many still lost their livelihoods. Manufacturing jobs declined rather than increased as companies faced higher cost of materials like steel and aluminium. The FIFO effect. Many working-class Americans who backed these policies saw factories closing and farm revenues plummeting, directly contradicting MAGA's economic promises. So making America great again failed because it was discriminatory. I think maybe God is punishing these Trump and his supporters. I don't know well. But you can tell us on the comment section why you think all this is happening. Let's continue the discussion on the comment section. If you like what I do, support me. This is EFK Original Documentaries. See you in the next one.